So it sounds like Bill Belichick won't be getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Trump this week. It's a wild news cycle, right, Raul?
It's definitely not surprising in 2021 as chaotic the world has been for the last year. But many people are happy about this. There's no question about it. The fact that he's not accepting it after the unrest in January 6th at the U.S. Capitol, potential second round of impeachments for the president of the United States. Bill Belichick making the decision not to accept it might be the smart move, especially considering what it might do. Back here in Massachusetts, the way people look at him, his players, the Patriots themselves in ownership, whether it's the fans themselves, Bill Belichick making this decision on his own. And I can imagine this was a tough one.
So what are some of the factors that Coach Belichick would be thinking about when deciding whether or not to accept the medal from Trump, especially after the riots in the Capitol?
I mean, especially after the last few years, when it comes to what happened with Colin Kaepernick and kneeling, and the NFL dealing with that situation and kneeling during the national anthem, and most recently, especially in 2020, with the protests where players went in protests, or just socially speaking out about the unrest amongst police brutality and the way African Americans are being treated. Bill Belichick has been by their side. If he goes out there to Washington, D.C., especially during this time, what happened last week in potential impeachment trials again, what does that say to your players and your staff?
Ain't that a fact? And I know Belichick comes from a military family, so it's got to be so important to him.
There's no question. So, I mean, this is the highest honor a civilian can get. And what Bill Belichick has done throughout his career is win football games. Now, some people would say, why is Bill Belichick getting this? Why is he getting this award? Well, presidents give it to a lot of different people, and Donald Trump has made a point to give it to athletes and coaches, current and former, just because that's his style. That's what he wants to do. And he's especially because of his friendship and loyalty between Bill Belichick and Donald Trump. But this means more than you could possibly imagine to Bill Belichick.
And I remember seeing Belichick at the White House after Patriots victories, but how close are they? Are they like bro close? Are they kind of like casual friends close? How close are we talking?
In recent years, I'm not sure how close they are. We haven't seen them publicly together outside of that White House Super Bowl ceremony. And that was even 3 years ago. So if you recall what he did for Donald Trump right before the election, was a pretty big deal. You didn't realize how close they were. He sent a letter to him, and Trump read that letter aloud, and Belichick gave him permission to do it. And it was a lot of high praise, saying he wants him to be the leader of the free world.
And finally, when was the last time someone from New England sports was so close to the president? Can you think of anything like this?
I really can't. I mean, this is really interesting stuff. I mean, obviously, we've seen, players have their love for people like President Obama and George Bush and things like that. But this friendship is very close. I mean, Tom Brady is also friends with Donald Trump. I know that he's distanced himself from the president, but Tom Brady and President Trump were close before they were president. They golfed together, they hung out together at events. So this is an interesting pair. You know, Trump is friends with a lot of people. We have to remember that he has a lot of relationships before he became president. And Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft, let's just not forget Robert Kraft, also part of a friendship with Donald Trump. Again, where these relationships are right now, I'm not really sure, but they certainly are still connected in certain ways.
Well, it's just another crazy week in 2021. I don't know if sports is going to come back into politics.
Things have become more politicized in the sports world, and more athletes are speaking out in politics. There's no question about that. Gone are the days of Michael Jordan, and we're seeing guys like LeBron James, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, even Brad Stevens. We're seeing the McCourty twins. We're seeing a lot more people speak out in the political world, whether it's social issues, and things that they want for change and change for the better. I think it's a good thing. Yes, I don't really like to get wrapped around politics too much when it comes to sports, because people love to tell me to just stick to sports, and I have to tell them I can't. I can't. is the deal now. This is the rule. This is the way it's working. If the athletes want to talk about the president of the United States and why they agree or disagree with them, we have to report it and talk about it. So I don't think it's going away for a long, long time. I know Trump now no longer being a president might change things a little bit. I know that maybe it's going to change the game for sure, but I don't know. It just feels like sports and politics are going to be connected for a while.